Felix, wanna watch a movie? Hey, sound good? All right, let's do it.
Hello everyone, welcome to an Exjapter episode where I'm going to talk about something that I find to be a lot of fun in Japan. I know some people won't like this topic or think it's inappropriate or why would you ever want to even bother with this sort of thing, but I'm going to start off first by explaining that when I have guests who come and visit me from the US, one of the first things I like to do is to take them onto roads just like this. In America, this is completely mind-blowing that a street this narrow is going to have two-way traffic. It's outstanding. I love it. It's fantastic. I love driving. I like driving. I like driving to see new places. So today, I'm going to talk about driving in Japan. So, driving, first of all, you got to get used to roads like this. If you're from Europe, you might have be from cities and towns where something like this is more usual. So, this is not odd for you. But for Americans, man, you learn the dimensions of your car very quickly. It's almost like a continuing game of chicken every time a car is coming at you. You know your dimensions, they know their dimensions, and you're trusting that neither of you are screwing it up. And sometimes the road is so narrow, you have to stop. Someone has to back up. Someone has to finagle their way into a little side pocket of space to allow other people through. Next, if you're planning on driving in Japan, first of all, be aware that your international driver's license is only good for 1 year. So don't think you can come with an international driver's license that expires in more time than a year and still be able to use it. Legally, you have 1 year on that before you need to get a Japanese driver's license. Japanese driver's license is no picnic to get. I have a friend who failed the test 9 times. Now, if you're from England, if you're lucky and you're from England or Canada, you have a reciprocity agreement with Japan. Japanese can get licenses in your country easily, and vice versa. But if you're American, there's no such standard, and so Americans have to go through the Japanese testing process. Now, what is that? You take a paper test. That's easy. It's the road test that's going to get you. The road test is on a closed course that you have to memorize. And what I mean by memorizing is this closed course has 3 official routes that they, at least when I took it, and at the place I took it, this is how it worked. I can't say that this is the same everywhere, but where I did it, there were 3 official routes, A and B and C. And when you showed up on the day of your test, and you can only take it once per day, they'll tell you, all right, you're doing B today. Draw it out of a hat or something. And you have to have that course memorized. If you get the course wrong, you fail. If you make enough mistakes on the route, you fail. And you have to do things like what I'm going to do right now. When you stop, you need to look, check, check, check. Big body physicality, check. And actually, if you point or say yosh, 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 migi yosh, hirari yosh, do that kind of thing, it shows that you're checking very carefully and you're more likely to pass. Things that you would never ever do in the real life of driving. But you're trying to show that you're going to be diligent and careful. When you come to a railroad track in Japan, you must stop. That is a legal requirement. And that's something I didn't know coming from America, where we don't have to. I was driving and went bam right across to railroad track, and my friend was like, "You can't do that! In Japan, you gotta stop." Oh, okay, alright, from now on I will. And that's part of the driver's test as well. There is a railroad track where when you reach it in the test, you need to roll down your window, make a listening motion, look, check, 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 and then go. Ha! I failed 3 times. The second time I failed is because my seatbelt was twisted, and they said that was dangerous. And you know what I thought when the policeman who was giving me the test told me that? I said, I wanted to say, I didn't say, I wanted to say, now wait a second, you're telling me this is dangerous, and you let me drive this whole course without telling me my seatbelt was on dangerously. But of course I didn't say that to the policeman. I wanted to pass the next time I took the test, if I possibly could. Other tips about driving in Japan. Be aware that Japanese are no better and no worse than drivers in America. So if that's your baseline, it's not that different. You just got to get used to being on the other side of the road, checking your mirrors. There tend to be more bikes and scooters on the road here, so you really need to pay attention to your blind spots and your mirrors when you're making turns, etc. And Japanese aren't always great at this. I've been whacked on my bike twice by someone who just turned left in front of me and didn't check to see if there was a bicycle. So be aware, especially if you're in a warmer weather area where more people will be riding scooters and bikes and such. Here's a railroad track. I just stopped, carefully looked. I tend to do that. I just don't roll down the window and do the listening motion because that's ridiculous. I've never seen anyone do that except in the driver course. Here's another thing. A lot of people don't pay attention, but you are actually legally obligated to stop for crossing walks like that and let people cross. Not everyone follows those rules. I try to. I figure I'm putting a good face on foreigners driving in Japan when I stop for families and people and they say, "Oh, that nice foreigner actually followed the rules." Seriously, follow the rules. And I think the crosswalk rule is a very good one. Hi, sorry about the sudden jump from the car to a secluded path, but I drove into some heavy traffic and stopped the tape at that point. It wasn't convenient to continue filming. So I hope you enjoyed that video. All I have left to say is if you liked it, please hit the like button. If you want to see more content from me, please hit the subscribe button. And of course, if you have any questions you want to ask about driving in Japan, or you want to share something about your own experiences driving in Japan, please comment below. I actually just filmed another driving episode where I'm going to talk about the things that annoy me about driving in Japan. So if you're interested in seeing that, please hit subscribe and look for my videos in the future. And thank you for watching.